Itchy nose already. Welcome. Oh, did I put my lipstick on right? I'll check my lipstick. I feel like I'm crooked. Weird. 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 No, I'm getting it everywhere. Ah, great. I didn't look. My mother said to be to be a woman, you had to be able to put your lipstick on without a mirror. You know, one of those things. Anyways, because she'd always put her lipstick on without a mirror, and that was a thing to do. So I thought it was like, oh, you got what it takes, and you can put your lipstick on without a mirror. So welcome everybody, putting lipstick on without a mirror and drinking coffee. That's what I'm drinking this morning is coffee, my elixir. Wow. I went for a walk this morning. It was beautiful. It was still slightly chilly, like I could see my breath as I was walking. And I love to see I love to see joggers. As I'm out there, because these guys are all these fitness guys who I never, because usually when I go out at all different times during the year, right? And seeing these guys out jogging, and some of them are jogging in their shorts, some of them are jogging, short sleeves, tank top, and I'm just like, man, you guys must be really hot because they're jogging for a long time. And because they're out there jogging, and here I got my sweater on, got my little coat on, got my gloves on, being little Miss Wimp when it comes to the weather. But and then I saw this lovely couple who walk their dog every day, and they were all bundled up, and so was the dog. It was so cute. I'm just like, yes, other people who feel the cold like I do. The joys of the morning. Well, Mars went into Gemini last night. So take a check-in. Do you feel it? Do you feel differently mentally? Is there a clarity there for you? Hopefully. The moon is still in Aquarius, and it will go void off course until around 10ish this evening, and then it'll head over into Pisces. So right now it is squaring off over to Venus. So what does that mean with that square to Venus? I did take notes. It's mainly where with Venus in Taurus, because Venus is, loving the Taurus energy. She will be heading into Gemini in a couple days on the 8th. So this energy of going with it, just going with it, because the moon is in this space age Aquarius energy, and it's right nuzzled up right next door to Jupiter, and it's making this energy of let's go with the flow and moving with the flow and moving with this energy of change, and but not because Dr. Wayne Dyer even came through me today, and the things that he says of not getting going through with the flow. It is not getting hung up when somebody says no, you can't do something, or you're unable to do that, or you don't have enough to do X. This is where it's excuses be gone, and allowing those excuses to be gone. This is going in with your true values, that allowing for you to be able to be adaptable and switch and change and move, because we're heading into mutability. We're heading into that energy of change, but it's not the sad change and let's do it big, baby. It is more of an individual inward change of saying, yeah, this is where I'm going. It's coming into that servitude. Servitude, that's a good word. And our roots, and that in comes, there's a Virgo energy comes in. So into that service energy, because that's what the Virgo is. Virgo's that of service, but it's not service to make, everybody has to know what I'm doing. It's service that I could still be the CEO of a company, but I can come back and sweep the floors kind of service, right? That we have that adaptability, that we have that part of us that we're able to, yeah, you know what? I can still do these things. I still have that value, that stimulation, that understanding, and that I'm able to be to switch and change as the winds change, right? If you ever notice, I love spring winds because they do change. You know, the energy, it changes all the energy around, changes how things flow and the feeling and how you're feeling. So this is coming into that change and allowing for you to move and pivot in new ways, and allowing for you to pivot into these new ways and these new directions. And as you pivot into that, it's where things can randomly come in, because this is Gemini. Gemini is, let me learn this. So what is this? Let me get curious, because right now, before he goes into his shadow phase, which is on May 15th, he goes into the shadow. And it's funny, he goes into shadow and Jupiter jumps in to Aquarius then. And so there is this energy there of this changing, of wanting us to set forth, because when Mercury goes into the shadow, so from May 15th to May 28th, there's that period till he goes to, is it 22 degrees? I think he goes to 22 degrees of Gemini. Don't quote me on this. I know it's 22 or 23 degrees. And he goes to these degrees and then he stops. So he kind of makes this, it's like he stops, he goes, and then he starts to go backwards. So he kind of makes a Z and then he comes back. So he goes along and he's making the Z in the sky. That's what it looks like when planets are going retrograde, and then they come back up and around. So this energy of it creating where it needs to go and how it needs to come back, and what does it look like coming back, because we have the first round of the shadow period, right? And that's sort of like what needs to be looked at. So from the 15th to the 28th, what needs to be looked at in your life, you know, what needs to be communicated. It's in Gemini. Mercury loves Gemini. It is home. It can chat. It can go for coffee. It can, you know, relate. Now, the reason why I think it's kind of funny, because last year when Mercury went into Pisces, we started to hear about COVID. We started to hear about this force that was coming in and around us. Then Mars went in to Pisces, and that's when everything got locked down. Now Jupiter is this god of expansion and this god of variant, and he does not do, it's not, it's, to him it's neither right nor wrong. It just is. Like a square is a square. It's just, I'm just showing you shit, man. Just, you know, that's all I'm doing. I'm just getting you to realize something. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just going to expand it so you can see it better. So there is something there that's going to be expanded. He hasn't been in Pisces for 12 years. So that's the other thing. It's like, let's go back 12 years. So it's 2021. So you can, if you can't do the math, just go 21 minus 10 is 2010. 10 minus 2 is 2008. There you go. So allow yourself to go back to that time. What was going on? What were the transformations? Maybe you don't, you know, this is like, maybe there was something big that happened at that time. Now, what makes it different this time with Jupiter going into Pisces, and you're going to hear about me talking about this a lot this month, is that it hasn't been there since 1856. So that's another craziness. So if you notice that there's been these crazy, you know, parallels of energies that have been coming into our world of creating change, creating transformation, getting us to open up, getting us to realize. And even with Pluto retrograde, he's getting us to open up. Now, Pluto, whenever he goes, wherever you go through any strife with Pluto, there's always some kind of reward, because he's a god of the earth. So he's going to give you a reward. Here, have a diamond. Here, have some oil. You know, he's going to give you some kind of reward because it is of this world. So we are going through this, and there are rewards through it. here we come back down. Mercury says, let's go and investigate. What are our rewards? What's going on here? What have you learning? What is it that you want to learn? And when the moon is nuzzling up right now, and I'm coming back today, when the moon's nuzzling up to Jupiter, it's a great day to start. What do I need to learn? What is that I need to be more educated on, and that I want to get more clarity on? And of course, for me, what happened is that I found a personal astrology course that brings in the Hermetic astrology. So anyways, going into original Horus astrology and learning about that, because that really interests me on doing Horus astrology. Anyways, so learning something new. I'm waiting for my book to come in. So this is where you might find something that's really interesting to you that's happening. Now, last week, I mentioned that there might be some earthquakes, and my prayers go out to the people in Japan, because there was a 7.2 earthquake a couple days ago. Somebody brought it to my attention, and they said, whoa, you said there'd be an earthquake, and boom, there's an earthquake. So that has to do with that Uranus-Sun conjunction. So that Uranus-Sun conjunction, the thing is that Uranus may not do it on that day, but it's a vibration. So he's in Earth. So sometimes it takes a little longer for things to hit, So we got that energy of vibrational changes that are happening. So eruptions happening. So this is also where you look at your own life, where the vibrations or eruptions or earth-shattering energies that are coming in. Now, earth-shattering energies is always different for everybody else. If you're a Capricorn, earth-shattering could be that you didn't have milk this morning. That could be an earth-shattering thing for you, because it's always there. And, so that could be something that could be earth-shattering, right? Or it could be something dramatic where you're leaving your job, or there is another earth shattering that something else happens that you have no control over within the outside world. Okay. So there are things that may be appearing for you also this week that are going to bring in some new realities, new ways of looking at things. And where you think, and this is where you think it's going one way, remember, you got to be able to pivot. If you are so attached to something, and this is, I'm talking to the fixed signs. I'm talking to you Scorpios. I'm talking to you Tauruses, and you Leos, and you Aquariuses. If you are so gung-ho, it has to be this way, you got to be able to have, because it's mutable energy, to be able to slide around and move a little bit and not be so, this is what I'm going. So that means that it might be coming in a different way. Things might be, and I got crackling, things might be crackling around you. So there's a lot of crackling. I don't know what the crackling is, but they're showing me that you got to trust, because things might be crackling around you, but you have to be able to move down a new way or take a new direction with this, because this crackling is like it's almost like Indiana Jones. So this crackling that's coming along, and you're walking along and the walls are crackling, you have to be also aware that it is crackling. Yes, I see the crackles, but I have to be able to jump over or move in a different way, and not be so like, no, I have to be this way, and everything's falling in on you, right? So that's where some of this energy is, but it brings in something that is, and I got stimulating for you, something that there is that jewel, there is that something there for you. But don't get so stuck on thinking it has to be this way and I have to go this way, especially when things are crackling around us. So, because there's a lot of crackling that's around us. So allowing ourselves to pivot with that. If that makes any sense, guys, that's what I'm getting. So I am still taking orders. If you are wanting tarot horoscopes, I can do about maybe 4 or 5 more for tarot horoscopes. If you are wanting to order a tarot horoscopes, they're $44. I have the meditation coming up on May 10th. So I have the calmness and peace meditation coming in on May 10th. And bringing in the calmness and the peace from that. We also have where I will be starting now. I was going to start it on Wednesday on the 12th to work on starting to work on the individual planets and the energies of those planets. So what I'm going to do for people, if they're interested in, is that if you are interested in working on, let's say we're going to start working on Mercury and energies like that, then I'm going to start working on the energies of the signs, like the cardinal, the fixed, and things along that line, the fixed and the mutable, and then bring in the elements with that. So it's a progressive course that is going to go on. Some things you might want to learn more about, some things you might not want to learn about. So, and I was going to charge $25 a class. Now, I would love to have your feedback because I'm thinking $25 for me. I can spend that at Starbucks in a day. But if that's a good price, I'm throwing it out there, because I'm thinking of starting it on and doing them starting on May 20th. Oh, that's the long weekend. Damn it. Damn you. Because I wanted to do them on a Sunday afternoon. So I'd be starting on May 30th on a Sunday afternoon. And so do the first 4. So it'd be the 30th, the 6th, the 13th. Those Sundays will, and then I know the 20th is Father's Day. If that works, we'll see. Or I could still do it Wednesday or Wednesday during the day. I'm throwing these dates out because I'm trying to figure out what works for people. With this, I'm in. Is it going to be recorded because I work? Yes, all my stuff is recorded, Erica. Yeah, it is recorded. So it will be recorded. And I know Candace is in. She already said, and I think Cynthia's in. So I'm just trying to throw out some dates here, and I'm just looking. I pull up my little schedule here of what's going on. You know what? It might end up having to be on a Tuesday evening. So I might have to do a Tuesday evening, and we can do it on the Tuesday evening, and that way we can start earlier, and we can start on the 18th. So that'll be after the new moon, which will be good because we'll be setting down some really strong energies. And then the moon will be going and heading into Gemini that week, which will be good because that'll be a good time to start learning, even though that we're underneath the shadow of the Mercury retrograde. But Mercury retrograde really works really well when you are learning, right? So yeah, and then bringing it so bringing in that energy. So we're going to start, and I'm going to confirm it now. We're going to start the course, and we're going to start with Mercury on May 18th. And what that means, so what does that mean? People go, okay, what do you mean by working with Mercury? So what it's going to be is that I'm going to talk about what Mercury means to you in each of the signs. So in Leo. So what is Mercury? Is Mercury happy in Leo? What sign does Mercury rule? And what does it mean for Mercury going retrograde? Okay. So things like that. So we're going to be talking about that. And what does it mean if Mercury's retrograde in your sign? And how does that might affect you? And I say might because some people, if you're born with a Mercury retrograde, like my grandson, he works really well with Mercury retrogrades. Like he flourishes with them. So people who have the Mercury retrogrades, they really flourish. And they can learn a lot more under these things. So sometimes when you do have a retrograde in your chart, I find that people can really do really well with that. Okay. And underneath that energy, like people who had Mars retrograde last year did phenomenal, especially those who did. I had a real estate client, and he did phenomenal last year. Just during that time with Mercury in retrograde and making deals and things like that. So there's that. So we'll talk about Mercury, what Mercury means, who he is, talk a little bit about what it is to be the god of communication, and a little bit of mythology in that around there. So we'll be bringing that in with Mercury, and then we will go through each of the planets and talk about them each week. So we'll be doing that. All right. Ha. See, I have to talk this out. As I have to talk this out loud, because if I just do it in my head, sometimes it just gets lost. It really does. And when it gets lost in there, we never know where the fuck it's going to come out. Just saying, because it can be a little bit crazy when in my head when things happen. So we're going to do that, and we're going to start it off at 6:30, and all my times are always in there we go. All my times are always in Mountain Time. Okay, so 6:30 Mountain Time, which would be 5:30 Pacific Time. My classes are recorded, so just an FYI, so they are recorded, so you know. So let me know what you think about that. So we have that happening now that we figured that out. And I am doing the karmic release. Okay. So that's the kind of thing that was kind of getting me for looking at time, because I was going to do the karmic release from June 4th to 6th. It's a weekend course, all on Zoom. And the karmic release is actually a really it's a deep class. It's a class of transformation and change. We do over 10 meditations that weekend of releasing any ties, of rewriting your going. The thing is that when people say when they rewrite their Akashic records, how I've learned from the old Hermetic, okay, is that in order to rewrite anything within our own selves, you have to have a meditation or a conversation with the lords of karma, because they're not going to just change things for you or change the Akashic records are not just going to change because you don't want to do something. You have to go through a process of that change. So when we work with a karmic release, we are going through a process of change. We're going through where we are saying, I am no longer tied to X, Y, and Z. I denounce my vows across all time, space, and dimension. Now I release my vows. What am I going to release my vows? And I'm going to open myself up to renewal, to allow for new things, and being able to choose the ties that I wish to have within this lifetime. So we want to release, but what is it that you want to bring in? Now, I know for some of my people who did it last year, and that was when Saturn went into Aquarius. This time we're doing it when Jupiter goes into Pisces, because we're bringing in quite an expansive spiritual connection with this. So we're bringing in this connection of expansion and wanting ourselves to expand with this connection. Now, the karmic release is it is recorded. We start Friday night. We go Saturday from 10 till about 4. And then we do Sunday, same time. It is all recorded. And each of the meditations are recorded. We do take a break, and have a lunch break, obviously, and have a coffee break. So we do breaks in between. And it's a weekend of allowing yourself to come into alignment with your divine and start working more in your alignment with your divine. So we bring in Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael comes in, and we do a meditation for you to have the shield, the sword, and the cup. And we have that placed within you. Now, some of you who've taken the karmic release of last year, you've now gone through a lot of transformations in the last year, from March of last year to March of this year, and energetically have taken a lot of changes in your life. Things, and the thing is, and I have to say, when you're doing the karmic release, can it upset relationships? Yes, because you've asked for a change within maybe vows. Maybe you've asked for changes within your like a change in poverty, like you're no longer taking that beliefs of being, of being less than, and that money's evil, etc. So changes happen where you are now having to be more aware of your money situation, taking charge of your money situation, taking charge of your relationships, taking charge of your spirituality. That's where the karmic release comes in. It gets you to take charge. Now, I know people who do Akashic Records readings, and I do them myself. Akashic Records and karma are very, very, I'm going to say they're the same, just by definition. But you can't rewrite, and I will argue with somebody with the Akashic Records. You cannot just go in and rewrite your Akashic Records and just go in, I'm taking this and I'm going to rewrite it, without going through the karmic council. Because you can rewrite whatever you want and go into a meditation, rewrite whatever you want. But if you have not asked for permission by the karmic council, by Kuan Yin, the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, you ain't going to get it. You might find yourself under more duress and stress. And that's the thing. It's like, because when some people start dabbling with that kind of shit, it kind of like, I can see the shit that happens in their life afterwards. So this is very much where it's been set up. It's something that has been taught since 1997, since when things really started to open up. Planetary, the universe started opening up, transformation started to change in order for us to get to the year 2000 to 2012. And now we're working up all the way up to 2050 for changes. So we're bringing those in. So the karmic release is going to be coming up on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. And the price for that is $333 for that weekend. And I will be posting that up. I am not posting things up on Facebook anymore for events. I can post it up in the Guru Mama because I can't put my price on it. If I do it on Facebook, they won't let me. It says $0, so they won't let you charge anything on Facebook. And on my Guru Mama page, I can't change the pricing. If somebody knows how to do that, let me know. All right, because I don't know how to change the pricing. They make me charge a different price than what I'm charging. So, and I think a few other people who are doing workshops find the same thing. So just an FYI. So I will be posting that up on my, what do you call it, website. And then you're going to start seeing more information coming out about the karmic release and learning more about the planets. And I feel it's important to learn about the planets because in order to understand astrology, you got to understand astronomy too, and where the planets are. So in correlation, it goes hand in hand, going out in the night sky and seeing it. Like this morning, to see the moon was there. And I'm thinking, as I'm looking up at the moon, I'm just like, oh, wow, the moon's okay. The sun's over here, the moon's here. And then I have Saturn and Jupiter. I can't see them, but I can feel their energies because they're not far because the moon is going up and it's very close to Jupiter right now. Right. So where the sun is and where the sun is and the earth is, and from the earth's perception, because the sun is over here and it's looking at it and it can see how things are aligning. Crazy, I know. But that's the thing, is like when you get into and you start really looking at the night sky. And I know some of us are, it's very hard in cities and that, but even getting out there and just seeing where certain things are, right? And feeling those alignments. You're going to be starting, you'll be able to see Venus now in the night sky. She's the morning star. She's the evening star. I mean, she's the first star in the sky. And that's Venus that we're starting to see more of. And same with the moon. The moon you see early in the morning. You can see early in the morning still before the sun rises, because the moon is not setting till later on in the day. So, but getting that perception and getting that understanding. So when it comes to the astrology, we were going to be starting that on the we said on the 18th. So we'll be doing that. So pretty exciting stuff. I'm all excited about all of this and teaching these classes. I'm excited about the karmic release and for people taking the karmic release. So, and those who won in my auction, that's the other thing. I think there was one person, I'll have to look it up, who won the auction for the astrology class. And I'll check to see even for the karmic release, who won it for the auction. This one for them, taking the planetaries, and then that for them, I'm going to just offer that. I'll send you out a note on letting you know that this is for you. You can take the next 7 weeks for free. The class isn't very long. It's about an hour and a half about the astrology. So the astrology doing the planets is not a very long class. There, I know so much. I just babbled on. And yeah, just stand in your power today. I do have about 5 minutes if anybody has any questions. I know I throw that out randomly and then I get people afterwards saying, you should have said that at the beginning. So if anybody has any questions about the classes or the karmic release course, or any questions about the astrology today or any of the energies coming forth. I know we're coming into a very crazy month, and then we have the full moon lunar eclipse at the end of the month, which is going to be very interesting in Sagittarius. So, and I need to get a new laptop. Oh, okay. Lexi needs a new laptop. You know what, Lexi? Let's put that out there for you. Let's put the focus on for you on getting a new laptop. I'm going to put that energy out there for you. And I'm going to put it out, and let's go for a Mac Pro. We're going to go for a Mac Pro or something along that line that gives you the power that you need and efficiency, streamline, a good price, a good marketable price for you, and easy to use. There you go. We're going to put that out there. Putting it out. How do we know if we want to release our karma? You ask. We go in, and there's a set of questions that we ask and that we go through. That's what we do. So we go through and we ask, I want to release any vows. So maybe there's how do you put this? If there's something that's reoccurring in your life, so many times we'll say money has been an issue for people. So you might have taken a vow of poverty in a past life, or you might have might have been poor in every lifetime. So in, say, right up to the Industrial Revolution, people didn't have extra money. Extra money for you to spend on vacations and things was not a thing at all. And then came the steam train. I'm going to get to your question here. She's like, what is she talking about? Came the train, and people were able to go on trips. They had extra cash, so they were able to go on trips to the ocean or to the seaside, and having extra money. Now, before that wasn't a thing, and you really had to strapped for money, and your money and anything came from that who was the landowner or the lord or the lady. They were the ones who controlled how things went in the land, even how much food and grain you got. So there was a very much a lack, or thinking of lack in our lives, and that can come forth to us in this lifetime. Then we can look at our life, and even though that we might have certain things or plenty, there might be a feeling inside of ourselves that I am lacking, or I never have enough, or there's something there. So there is something there that needs to be released. We need to release it, and we have to ask the lords of karma to release it and allow ourselves to create a more easier road to bringing forth the abundance and peace within our life. Hopefully I explained that right. Same with vows. Like, vows are very specific. When we made vows in past lives, say you were going into the nunnery, or you're the sisterhood, or you're marrying somebody, if you made a vow was meant that in this life, like I vow blah, 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 right? When you vow, there was a belief system that you weren't coming back. Okay. So many times you weren't coming back, but you came back, right? And say, same with, I had one client who we did a past life regression with her. We found out that she was in the Iron Maiden, God help us, in France. And she was in a love affair that was not allowed. And they put her into the iron shackles, and she vowed she would never love again. Every time she found a person in this lifetime, she could not hook up. It ended in some kind of disaster. Every single one. And when she figured that out, then she could come to acceptance in this lifetime in order to forgive herself, forgive that of that love, forgive the situation, in order for her to find peace and contentment within her life at this time, and to be able to be open, because she was constantly searching for that one person, because she vowed that's the only one she was going to love. Hence, I mean, I'm going to say she is still single, but she's at peace, because she knows that maybe it's not in this lifetime I'm going to meet him, because I had to end that. I had to release that energy. Yet she's had some really beautiful relationships that are still very cozy today, but not in the traditional sense. Just saying. I know I'm trying to make this G friendly. So that's what karmic release is. And that's what we do. And sometimes it's like we're unsure of. And this is where, when we are doing this, it is changing our energetic streams. And it takes not just that weekend, it takes about 2 weeks, it takes 3 months, 6 months is a really big one, where people start seeing some real major changes, up to a year. And sometimes things get chaotic in their life, and I get an email saying, Mary, things are chaotic. And I said, okay, it's 6 months. Remember, you took the karmic release. Oh, fuck yeah. So things might hit you a little bit more, especially when it comes to karmic energies, and karmic energies also have to do with the planetary alignments also. So that's why I do it on a specific time of doing these karmic releases. Because when I do it, I release also, even though I've taught this quite a few times. I've taught this since 2010, but not every year. Not every year. And do I want to teach it in 2022? Probably not. This will probably be the last year I'm going to teach it, for a few years before it comes back into my alignment again. So just because of some other energetic changes that are coming through for between 2022 and 2024. So, and I'll probably look at it again in 2024, 25. So, because there'll be some other craziness that's happening. But this is where the world is. We are going through these. Ooh, a year later, are we still feeling it? Yeah, you're probably still feeling it. you know? And that's the thing. It's like it is vibrational, right? So it's like a pebble. When a pebble goes into the water, there's that vibration that goes out. And sometimes, that force that where the pebble dropped at the middle, that force may not have hit you as yet, depending on other things that are going in your life, how you're feeling mentally. I can bring in your natal chart, and the planets have to do with a lot. Some people felt it quite instantaneously, and that's, they may have come in with less karma to deal with. They just kept coming in and just sort of like, oh, this is a fun time, right? You forgot about the karmic release. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, is that, the things that you take, right? And the things that you do. So the other things too is like where I taught the angel alchemy class, right? So the angel alchemy class for people. And that explains a lot for you, Lexi. Yeah. So those also for people who took the angel alchemy class, and I'm in the class again. We're teaching it again, but only with the female archangels. Is that if you've taken the angel alchemy class with me, bring out your wheel, sit in your wheel, activate your wheel. That's what it's there for. Put the rocks down and do an activation with it. It's very important. Very important. And as you bring in that activation for yourself, and other things that I mean, the thing is that I try and give people tools for their toolkit, and giving you tools for your toolkit, meaning that they're there, but sometimes we forget that they're there. We forget to utilize it. We forget to call in these beautiful energies that are there to help us along our way. And today I'm really working with Archaea of Faith and Archangel Raphael, because I do I I do have I can get, well, I have arthritis. I can get arthritis very bad, especially in my knees, because of being a silly young youth. And so I haven't been stretching as much as I should have been in the past few months, and now it's caught up to me. So now I'm calling in Raphael to help me to stretch things out. And I know I have to get my nettle and go get a pound of nettle and start drinking my infusions again, and start really bringing in my nutrients back into my body. And so that's what I know I have to start doing for myself. And in doing that, that's going to help to strengthen me. And these, the thing is that we do forget some of the things that we have in our toolkit, and we just go on with life and, oh, whatever. But these are the little pivots. These are the things with this Venus coming in, and she's saying, hey, are you taking care of yourself? Are you looking after yourself? Are you doing what you need to do? And those could be the little cracklings that are coming in for people. So, yeah. So, my loves, thank you for your questions. Thank you, Erica, for your questions. Definitely check out my Patreon. I mean, this is a good time to join because it's the first week of May. And so you can check out my Patreon. It's at the Guru Mama if you go on to patreon.com. And I do have light roast, medium roast, and dark roast. The dark roast is going to get you your tarot horoscope each month. It's going to get you into the meditation group, and you get a % off of classes. So you get 10% off classes of the classes. So if you're looking at that, and I think it's, I don't know, $35, $45 a month. Anyways, so you can look at that. And then I do a daily inspiration that I send them on a daily. So you can look into my Patreon and see if you're interested in doing the Patreon. So sending you out so much blessings, people. Thank you for being a part of my day. And Lexi, send me an email or something, because I wanted to catch up with you about, I didn't add you to the group for the astrology, and I can send you the information if you are wanting that information from that group. I kind of forgot. So anyways, I want to touch base with you. Have a blessed day, everyone. All of you, love you. Erica, I know you joined the Patreon. Please send me your info about so I can get you your tarot horoscope. God bless and the goddess bless you. Thank you so much for being a part of my day. Have a blessed one, everybody. And thank you for listening to my ramblings and getting my stuff out of my head. Blessed be. Bye-bye.